Hello everyone, I'm Anthony Purcell, Director of Bands at the University of Central Missouri.
And I'm Julia Baumanis, Director of Athletic Bands and Assistant Director of Bands. We would like to welcome you to the UCM Virtual Festival of Champions.
Back in March 2020, we began to see a number of events canceled due to this new virus called COVID-19. Since that time, we have seen our society and our vocabulary change drastically.
Words such as social distancing, pandemic, and asymptomatic have become ingrained in our everyday language. Instrument face masks, bell covers, and instrument bags have all made bands across the country look a little different this season.
But, as is typical of band students, directors, and their supporters, we found a way to follow the science behind the transmission of this disease to continue to do what we love safely. This evening's award show is a celebration of that commitment to excellence and the tenacity to perform. It is this work ethic and practice of safety for ourselves and others that defines us.
We know that with any change in our way of life, that things are not always easy, as change is uncomfortable. However, the perseverance that bands and musicians across the world have shown is inspiring. It proves that we will innovate in order to create, even in the toughest of times. And for that, we applaud you.
With that in mind, we hope that you enjoy the celebration of the marching arts and, more importantly, the will of so many directors, students, and their supporters to keep safely marching forward.
I'm Roger Best, President for the University of Central Missouri. Just want to say thank you for joining our virtual competition this year. We're so disappointed that we were not able to have you on campus for either the Festival of Champions or some other event. Given the pandemic that's going on, obviously, it was a challenge for us to bring you together. I do hope in this environment that you and your family are doing well. We are thinking of you, and we certainly appreciate our band directors who have worked with all of our students in making this event possible. Thank you again for your participation. And we do hope to host you on campus one day so that you can see what I've seen my entire career here, which is a faculty and staff who care about our students and hope for your success. So thank you again for participating, and good luck.
Good afternoon. My name is Jordan White, Junior Music Education major.
I'm Amy Canos, Senior Music Education major.
I'm Olivia Jenkins, Junior Music Education major. And
we are the Marching Mules drum majors. While COVID has definitely created a challenge for the music world, we refuse to let it stop us from doing what we love. All around the world, musicians have joined together, creating unique performances, thinking outside of the box and spreading their love of music.
Here in the education field, COVID has been difficult to navigate. Students have been left questioning whether or not they will even have a marching season. However, over the past couple of months, the UCM Marching Mules have been working hard to create something special for marching bands all around the country.
Each and every student in the Marching Mules has helped contribute to the creation of virtual FOC. Whether it was creating a soundtrack, editing a video, or even writing a script, we have been dedicated to keeping the marching band season alive. And now, without further ado, let's get this festival started.
Stay safe.
Stay healthy.
And go Mules!
Hey guys, my name is Shannon Jenkins and I'm one of the teaching assistants for the Marching Mules.
And I'm Chad Fisher, also a teaching assistant for the Marching Mules. We're here to tell you about the two activities in the UCM athletic bands.
The Marching Mules, which you've already heard a little bit about and you'll see more of later, and the basketball pep band, which both Chad and I are members of.
The pep band plays for all Mules and Ginny's basketball games, and our job is to help the cheerleaders and the mule kickers create a winning atmosphere for our teams.
We're an audition ensemble, and we also get to travel with the teams when they make it past conference games.
With the Marching Mules, members will also have the opportunity to travel if the football team does well enough. Just last season, we took a trip up to Michigan, and it was really cold, but also a lot of fun.
With the current COVID situation, the MIAA made the tough decision to cancel all football games this fall. But thanks to viewers like you and your band program, the Marching Mules are still up and running. So let's get back to our drum majors.
Hi everyone, this is composer Frank DeKelly in Pasadena, California. I just want to take a moment to wish all of you great success who are participating in this year's Virtual Festival of Champions, hosted by the University of Central Missouri. I'm sure this is not the format you may have dreamed about, but especially you seniors, but really all of you. But it is a testament to how we all are using our imaginations to adapt to meet these new challenges that this horrible pandemic has placed upon us, and perhaps even finding unexpected surprises of joy, and inspiration along the way. I certainly wish that for all of you. So have a great performance this evening, and I wish you all great success and joy in music and in life.
Here's our UCM Color Guard, led by Band Graduate Assistant Allegra Wolf.
Hi everyone, my name is Shelby Schultz, and I'm the section leader of the 2020 UCM Marching Percussion section. I'd like to introduce Brent Eccles, doctoral conducting student at Ball State University and the composer of the Drumline's 2020 performance piece entitled Skip. You'll also hear from our color guard director and band graduate assistant Allegra Wolf, who will talk about the Skip rifle feature that she wrote for our color guard section.
Hello, my name is Brent Eccles, and I am a first-year doctoral student in wind conducting at Ball State University. I first wrote Skip when I was in high school, and my high school drumline played it. And when Dr. Smith asked me if he could do it, I graciously agreed and touched up the parts just a little bit. And so that's what you're going to hear today. Hope you enjoy.
Hello, my name is Allegra Wolf, and I'm the color guard director and band graduate assistant here at UCM. When planning the award ceremony, Dr. Smith and I thought it would give us a great chance to do a collaboration between the drumline and the color guard. For more information about the guard program here at UCM, please visit ucmcolorguard.wixsite.com/info or visit our Facebook and Instagram pages. We hope you enjoy Skip by Brent Eccles, performed by the UCM Percussion and Color Guard.
Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Alex Smith, Assistant Professor of Percussion and the Marching Percussion Coordinator here at UCM. Like all of you, since March we have been experimenting here at UCM with approaches to music education amidst the pandemic. During our marching percussion audition days back in May, we did a combination of asynchronous video submissions with synchronous subsection rehearsals in Zoom breakout rooms using coordinated microphone muting. Thanks to the outstanding work of our leadership team refining their rehearsal methods, it's worked well for the audition days and it's continued to work well for us whenever we have had to return to an all-virtual environment since then. While this method is effective for rehearsal, repetition, and individualized feedback, it only allows students to hear and play along with one person and their metronome at a time. So when we learned that both our August marching percussion and marching band camps would be entirely virtual, we wanted to take things a step further in order to enhance the musical experience for all of us. Thanks to a referral by my colleague, Dr. Isaac Bickmore, Assistant Professor of Music Education at UCM, we began to use Soundtrap with the marching percussion section. Soundtrap is a digital audio workstation like Reaper, Pro Tools, Ableton Live, Logic, and Audacity, only that Soundtrap is an online platform. This means that anyone with an internet connection can access the same studio session at the same time to musically collaborate with one another. While Soundtrap does have chat and video call features, when using Soundtrap in conjunction with Zoom screen and audio sharing, it enables users to see and hear what their peers are working on in real time. To learn the software, at Marching Percussion Camp, members were given two-hour rehearsal blocks to work in their subsections on creative composition projects. This short video is a sample of some of our students' work from those 2 sessions, which was recently featured on the Soundtrap Education blog.
Stuck inside for around 5 months, lacking social interaction, it's been kinda tough. Feeling like Kyle Massey off, life is rough. Got a fast pass for the struggle bus. Beats so hard, but these rhymes stay silly. Not a rapper, but these bars, they stay with me. UCM perk stays on my shirt. Here comes a vibe, everybody hit the dirt.
While these composition projects were super fun to do, and they also helped us a ton in learning music technology concepts like creating tracks, the difference between MIDI and audio, setting microphone levels, monitoring, recording, internal metronome usage, editing, and more. The ultimate intention was to use Soundtrap as a rehearsal tool. But our usage of Soundtrap as a marching band surpassed this intention in September when we were forced into an all-virtual environment due to events surrounding the pandemic. As a full marching band, we use Zoom and Soundtrap to not only rehearse, but also to produce one of the selections for our 2020 show, Movie Music That Empowers Us. Using these tools, our students were not only performing on their instruments, but they were also engaged in music production, requiring more responsibility on their part to see their work through to the final product. We still have a ton to learn at UCM when it comes to virtual music making, but we are proud of our students' work, their flexibility, and how they have overcome adversity time and time again this semester. We hope you enjoy our Zoom Soundtrap rendition of Ain't No Mountain High Enough, made famous by the musician and civil rights activist Marvin Gaye.
Hello, my name is Dr. Ian McLaughlin. I'm the Assistant Coordinator of Marching Percussion here at UCM. For this year's performance piece for our front ensemble, I arranged a work by my good friend Colby Kozanowski. Before we hear an excerpt of the piece, I'd like to welcome Colby to tell you a little bit more about the work.
Hello, my name is Colby Kazanowski, and from 2010 to 2014, I was a marching mule. However, I am not coming to you today as a marching mule, but as the composer of the next piece of music that you're about to hear, which is entitled Out of Myself. This piece of music is inspired by the human capacity to gain self-control over oneself and to break a destructive pattern or loop that we might fall prey to.
On behalf of Dr. McLaughlin, me, and all of us here at UCM Percussion, we would like to congratulate all the performers, teachers, and staff from all the participating schools at the 2020 Festival of Champions. Visit us at www.ucmpercussion.com, where you can check out video recordings by our marching percussion section and percussion ensembles, learn about upcoming events, get admission information to the university and audition information for UCM Music, and download the UCM Marching Percussion Audition Packet for the 2021 season. To close the UCM Marching Percussion portion of the award ceremony, we would like to share our combined percussion performance piece from the 2019 season that incorporates live electronic processing and a supporting brass octet of UCM students. We hope you enjoy Ensemble. Go Mules!
Okay, that's enough. Thanks, Dr. B. And now for an amazing, astounding alliteration, we turn to Technique Talk with TA Tim Campbell.
That's my roommate.
Welcome to Technique Talk with Tim, where I explain the best marching and music from this year's virtual Festival of Champions. For this first session, we'll be looking at the opening impact from Nixa High School.
Nixa High School is pleased to present drum majors Dan Atwood, Jalen Colson, Lauren Huff, Savannah Snow, and the 2020 Nixa Crimson Corps performs Up, Up, and Away.
The students did a really great job having a consistent airstream and making the dynamics really pop out. They nailed the musical style and interpreted it perfectly. Awesome job, Crimson Corps.
To the directors, students, and band parents of the University of Central Missouri Festival of Champions, my name is Chris Sprague, and I am the president of the Missouri Music Educators Association. My hat is off to each one of you. Instead of giving up, you found a way to persevere. Instead of making excuses, you found reasons to excel. Instead of giving in to COVID-19, you slapped COVID-19 in the face by finding ways to safely continue an activity that we all love. I can't imagine the long hours spent in masks, dealing with bell covers and social distancing, and all the other ways you had to alter your usual routines to continue to put a quality product on the field. Thank you for your commitment and devotion to the marching arts. You have been an example of excellence to your classmates, to your school districts, and to your band families across the nation. No matter what the results are, you have already won. Congratulations.
And now over to our Director of Athletic Bands, Dr. Julia Baumanis, to hear about her process of writing socially distanced drill.
Marchers and marching band enthusiasts, I'm Allison Quick, a teaching assistant for the Marching Mules, and it's now time for UCM's very own exhibition performance. Entitled Movie Music That Empowers Us, our show is split into 3 movements, and each section showcases ways we can continue the marching band tradition under different circumstances brought on by the current pandemic. Our members are excited to showcase their perseverance in music. Here with us today is Dr. Julia Baumanis, the Assistant Director of Bands and the Director of Athletic Bands at UCM. Hello, Dr. Baumanis.
Hi, Allison.
Can you tell us a little more about the show?
Absolutely. So our show is titled Movie Music That Empowers Us. Each year we ask our student leaders to vote on a show idea, and one of the most highly voted on show concepts was movie music. When we were choosing the music, it was right at the beginning of the pandemic. And right around that time, we were getting emails from our students saying, I'm really down about school, what's going to happen to next year's season. They really, truly felt powerless in a lot of ways. So we were very intentional in choosing our specific songs for this show. Not only are they from movies, but they really do address this idea of empowerment. Our first show song is Greatest Show, from the movie The Greatest Showman. And if you've ever seen that movie, it's really about celebrating differences, celebrating the differences that people from different walks of life come and bring to the fold, and not being afraid to own your own differences. The second song that you've seen a little bit before in our broadcast today is Ain't No Mountain High Enough. And we were very intentional in choosing this song. It was written by Marvin Gaye, artist and civil rights activist, first performed by him and later made more famous by Diana Ross. But the original writers of that song are 2 people by the name of Nick Ashford and Valerie Simpson. Nick wrote the song, the chorus of the song, as he was walking through Central Park West. And he was looking up at the skyscrapers and he was wondering, am I going to be successful enough to stay in this really expensive city? Am I going to be successful enough as a songwriter to keep doing what I want to do here? And looking up at the almost mountain range like skyscraper scene, the words came to him, ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you. And the you that he references in that song is actually success. Nothing was going to hold him back from getting the success that he wanted. And that's why we were really intentional in choosing that song for our students. We wanted them to, no matter what challenges they were faced with this season, to really persevere and push forward. So we hope that that was a source of inspiration for them, and I think they truly succeeded with Soundtrap. The last portion of our show is the Avengers theme, something a little bit more current, something made a little bit more famous by current movies of the Marvel Studio team, and about superheroes saving the world from adversity. What can be more empowering than that?
In the words of the greatest showman, ladies and gents, this is the moment you've been waiting for. Here's the UCM Marching Mules.
Wow, what a great show. Can you tell me a bit more about the process for rehearsals for the Marching Mules and what changed according with the pandemic?
Sure. I think the most obvious change is a protocol to the way we do things at every rehearsal. That includes instrument safe masks. That also includes bell covers, instrument bags for open hold instruments like a clarinet or a saxophone. Of course, social distancing, and we have on our side the fact that marching band is typically an outdoor sport. So all those things combined together, as well as writing the drill in a way to where there's never anything less than 8 feet between any of our students at any time. Making sure that that happens, as well as making sure that the drill movements aren't too taxing on our students. I realize with the mask and the bell covers and all these extra precautions that does exhaust them a little bit more because they do have they're not able to breathe perhaps fully without that mask on, like they would without the mask on. So just writing it in a way to where our students aren't getting fatigued as well. And I think that's probably the most obvious change. We do temperature checks before every rehearsal, and we have a protocol for if there's inclement weather and we had to be turned indoors, which has not happened just yet. But if that does happen, we have a limited amount of time indoors with each other as well as making sure that we are in smaller groups and that we allow the room to recycle the air and clean the air between rehearsal settings. We really did follow the studies about returning safe to marching band activities that was put out in the summer. We had scientists and researchers who are aerosol specialists look at what safety precautions need to happen in order to keep our students safe. So we followed those to the T.
Would you say there are any other challenges that you as a director or your students had to face during this time?
Absolutely. I think that my students, once we got into the routine of things, putting on the mask, going through the temperature check, showing up to rehearsal a little bit early to make sure that we had all of our bell covers and instrument bags. I think once that was all routine, the next thing that was the challenge, and still is the challenge to be honest, this is the thing that I worry about every day, is the mental health of our students. It's a scary time and it's a strange time. And there was a moment in the season when we were working on our sound trap project, which you saw earlier in the broadcast, where we were all online. And it was made very apparent that marching band is truly a release for these students from the everyday pressures. And with us being online, that was sort of taken away from them. So it affected their mental health, I think, a little bit. They were a little bit more anxious. They were a little bit more depressed. They were a little bit more hesitant about going forward. But it really does show that what we do in marching band is so much more than just playing music. It's about the social aspect of them getting to do something really fun with their friends and just being outdoors as well. We shut down in the spring and we're indoors for so long and looking at a screen. This is their release. So that's something that we worry about every day, and that's something that we try to address every day. We try to have open and vulnerable conversations about it every day. And that's also something that my leaders have been challenged with. A lot of our leaders are music education majors, like yourself. You're a music education major. And a lot of stuff has been put on my music education majors and my leaders this year, understanding that we need you all to help us bring the energy forward and keep the positivity high as much as possible. And we know that there's only so much we can do. But perhaps a silver lining to all of this is that when you go and you have your band job, your future band job, you will have this experience. You will be able to say, I lived through that, and not only did I survive, but I thrived through that. So you're better prepared for your future students. So do I wish we didn't have to go through it? Absolutely. Do I think that there's a learning opportunity here as well? Absolutely. And I think our students have done wonderful.
Absolutely. It's truly a trying time for all of us. Considering what our marching band is doing here, how do you think the culture of marching band is going to change as a whole? And what are some good things that have come out of us doing marching band in different ways?
Oh, just the ability, there are a bunch of different types of bands, right? You got concert band, you got marching band, you have jazz band, you have smaller chamber groups, you have chamber music, you have things like orchestra, choir, you have all these different types of musical groups. But when it comes down to it, the thing that ties us all together is that we are creators. And this year has challenged us to not only be creators, but be innovators in what we're doing. And the stuff that Dr. Smith has led us on for that sound trap project, the stuff that we're going to do after virtual FOC, which is coordinate with our music technology program and getting official school songs, which we'll talk about a little bit later, recordings of that. These collaborations, these virtual FOC is probably the crowning moment of all this. Innovating so that we can still do what we need to do and we can still reach our audiences. And one of the good things I think about virtual FOC is that, typically we reach around our region of people, maybe 4,000, 5,000 people. This has around 7,000 people, not worldwide, but nationwide, coast to coast, participating. And you think about all the participants, their parents, their grandparents, their families, their friends, they can all tune in and watch from wherever they are in the world. So we have a further outreach. Thank goodness we have technology for all this. So I think some of the good things that are coming out of this, if there is a silver lining, to all of the pain and the suffering and the lives that have been lost, if there is something perhaps positive that can come out of this, is that artists, I've been so inspired by seeing artists turn into innovators and trying to get their art to still speak to people that it needs to speak to.
Absolutely. You mentioned what we're going to be doing after Festival of Champions. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Like, what are our plans after?
Yeah, sure. So one of the interesting things is that colleges, when we have a marching band for a university, it is the soundtrack of the university. You think about a football team, you think about them running out to the field, and what do you hear? The fight song, right? We don't actually have an official recording of our school songs, like the fight song, our alma mater, our traditional school march called Fight You Mighty Central Mules. We don't actually have those. You can find it on YouTube here and there, but there's not an official recording. And those are some songs that are very close to the heart of the university. They, when you hear that song as an alumni of our university, you know that that's home. So we're going to make an official recording. We're going to team up. We have a very strong music technology program at UCM Music, and we're going to team up with those students and those directors of that program. Those students are going to get first-hand experience with working with a large ensemble. The UCM Marching Mules are the largest ensemble on campus. So they're going to get experience in how to run a recording session with that many people, what it takes. We are also going to get experience about being in a recording session ourselves as Marching Mules. And one of the other things that we want to do and that we do every year is we have a military appreciation show. We have a lot of students who are military students. We have a lot of military in the family communities around us. We are very close to Whiteman Air Force Base. So we have a large military community around us. We always do a military appreciation show. We won't be able to do this live this year, but kind of thinking about how far we can have an outreach because of technology now. We're still going to perform Armed Forces Salute, which salutes every single one of the armed forces that we have for the United States. And we're hoping to send that out to our veterans, to the VA, to our veteran homes, to Veteran Affairs, and just spread the love and the appreciation for those people still.
That's a wonderful thing to look forward to. We're about to watch our last movement, Avengers, here in a second, but is there anything else you would like to tell us about in regards to that movement before?
Yeah, so that we've written our show in 3 different ways with thinking about the people who would be involved in FOC. Depending on where you are in the country, you might be able to, with guidelines of wherever you are, you might be able to have face-to-face rehearsals like we do. Of course, keeping everybody safe with masks and instrument bags and all the above. You might be in a situation where you are not able to rehearse face-to-face. You can only do stuff online. And then you also might be in a situation where you have a person cap on the field. For example, perhaps you can only have 50 people in the field, but your marching band has 200 people in the field. Greatest Show was written in the mindset of, okay, bands, you can still meet face-to-face, but protect everything. The Ain't No Mountain High Enough was written with the idea that might be helpful to people who are completely online. That's a way for your students to still collaborate and make music together. And then the third part, this Avengers part, was written for the people who might have a cap of people on the field. So if you can only have 50 on the field, but you have a band of 200. How I've written the drill is I've written it in quadrants. I have a group of students in the upper left-hand side of the field, lower left-hand side, upper right-hand side, lower right-hand side. And if needed, you can rehearse the drill 1 quadrant at a time. It's written in a way to where 1 quadrant can rehearse their portion of the show, kind of like 1 puzzle piece of a 4 puzzle piece puzzle. And they could march their portion of the show and be done. You can record that 1 portion of the show with just 1 quadrant, and then switch to another quadrant. So maybe the upper left-hand side of the field goes. Then maybe the next recording you do is the lower right-hand side, so on and so forth. And then you could very easily, in a free program like iMovie, superimpose those recordings on top of one another to get the full product of an entire marching band on the field. And it's actually kind of cool to see, because When we do it, you can sort of see, maybe difference of the season. When the sun rises, maybe it rises and sets in a different area depending on the recording. So it's sort of like a time-lapse project as well. But that is a really good technique if you have an issue where you are only allowed to have so many people on the field. We wanted to really play around with the drill this year and the show this year, thinking about this empowerment theme, to not only empower our students, but to empower the people tuning in to maybe use these techniques to their advantage if they are in a situation like that. What we don't want to do is just say, okay, done, folding, we're not having a season, because it can happen. And I think that virtual FOC, the fact that we had near 100 bands participating coast to coast, the fact that our students here at UCM have done all of these different things, I really truly think that this is a time to innovate and create and not just sit down and fold the season. And again, going with this empowerment thing, I hope that what we do today and what we're showing today with virtual FOC is a form of empowerment for the people tuning in.
That will inspire a lot of people. We have one more thing before we see the Marching Mules perform their last piece. We have a special message from someone who is a part of the Marching Mules band family, who was also involved with the making of the Marvel movies. Here with a special message is the uncle of Sarah Curtis, a clarinet player, and here he is.
Hey guys, my name is Barry Curtis and I'm the Director of Security for Marvel Studios, and I heard that the Marching Mules are playing the Avengers theme at the Virtual Festival of Champions. That's amazing. I can't wait to see it. Go Mules!
Hi, my name is Tim Lotzenheiser, and welcome to the Virtual Festivals of Champions. Congratulations, you're already a winner. Way beyond the performance on the field, or the great comments you will get from the adjudicators, or even the outcome and the trophies and all that, they pale in comparison to the real winning that is coming your way. And that's what you've learned along the journey. Those character attributes of persistence, self-discipline, cooperation, going the extra mile, they're all the cornerstones of success in life. Band is different. Band is a culture of excellence, and that excellence permeates each and every part of what you do now and you'll do in the future. There's a reason band people are successful, because success breeds success. So, my hat is off to you, to the directors, bravo. It would have been easy not to do this. To those wonderful parents who support you all of the time, congratulations. To the administrators who went the extra mile to make sure we could have band, thank you. Everybody together makes a difference. It's a synergy that really resounds throughout the world. So again, have a great performance. Be sure you invest in the most important thing in your life, your own success. And now, it's time to strike up the band. Thanks.
Here's another Technique Talk with Tim.
Welcome back to Technique Talk with Tim. For this second session, we will be looking at the indoor color guard from Lindbergh High School. You notice this ripple effect right here, going from front to back. And they continue doing that ripple effect, but it speeds up right here. They turn around, and this toss, very nicely done. And then the toss right after this, boom, right there. Can we roll it back just a little bit? Just about 5 seconds or so. Right about there. Yeah, that looks good. Go ahead and play it. That toss was very, very nicely done. This very common ripple effect that accelerates is very well done with the alternating lines and the great use of school colors. They really are the spirit of St. Louis.
Hello, I'm Phil Bridgman, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs here at the University of Central Missouri. I want to congratulate you for your participation in this virtual event. Throughout its history, UCM has had a strong commitment to the arts and creative endeavors, and your participation continues that long tradition. While I would very much have enjoyed being together with you in person, our current pandemic and COVID-19 has caused us to do things differently than we have done in the past. And your resilience and commitment to continuing with your investment in music and to the creative arts that we all enjoy, that define who we are as a collective society, is very much recognized and appreciated. You will always have a home here at UCM. We hope you stay connected, and I wish you all the best going forward, and I look forward to seeing you on campus again. Thank you very much.
We are mules. Over the past 150 years, nothing has gotten in the way of our success. Not wars, not a fire that burned down our campus, and certainly not a virus. In 1918, the Spanish flu also forced us to close our doors. But we didn't call it quits then, and we're not stopping now. Together, we will come back stronger to graduate with meaningful degrees and make a difference. We are the University of Central Missouri, and we are Mule Strong.
This tribute is to the seniors who, against all odds, are enjoying their final marching season. Here's our UCM Director of Bands, Dr. Anthony Purcell.
Hello, seniors. While we are truly in this pandemic and pulling through together, we understand that you all are likely experiencing some additional emotions. At the end of this past spring, many of your friends who graduated from high school were equally caught off guard with the sudden closure of your favorite restaurants, entertainment venues, and schools. Who would have ever thought that such a thing like this could ever happen? Maybe having schools closed for a few days or a week or two because of some storm or flood, but the entire nation closing for the remainder of the school year is just unheard of. And then graduation came and went, and many of your friends did not have that rite of passage of walking across the stage, shaking the principal's hand and receiving their diplomas. Surely one thing was completely missing, and that is the endless number of videos that made its way to YouTube of someone like me trying to do a backflip on stage and failing. Thank goodness that the internet is not forever, right? As we went through the summer months, perhaps there was a glimmer of hope that things would return to normal, so your senior year and all the experiences that go along with it would be just as you dreamt. We know that these are tough times, but for you all in particular, these experiences might be the last for you in a band uniform, and we know that weighs heavy on your shoulders. I know I'm talking to some of the most brilliant minds out there because you all will get it done. When there is a roadblock in your future, you will figure out how to get around it. Each of you, your directors and your supporters, will find a way to make lemonade when all you have are onions. When COVID took away graduation ceremonies this past spring, communities found safe alternative ways to celebrate their graduates, usually from the comfort of their own cars. When COVID took away the ability to be face-to-face, teachers found a way to teach from home, using creative ways with Play-Doh, Legos, and other knickknacks to teach math, science, and even music. And when COVID took away your marching festivals, we all found a way to safely have this great experience. Yes, it looks different, and yes, it feels different, but we will not let COVID win. The band staff at the University of Central Missouri and I wanted to send you all, but especially you seniors, a very special message from a very special group of people. Would you please help me welcome Jeff Connor and the members of the Boston Brass.
Thank you, Anthony. Hello to all the bands participating in this year's Festival of Champions. We are Boston Brass, and we want to congratulate all the musicians taking part in such a special event. We'd like to give a big shout out to all the seniors who have spent their high school careers being part of an incredible community that you're going to remember the rest of your lives. We know this might not be what you had envisioned for your senior year marching experience, and it's okay because you are still creating, producing, collaborating, and making lifelong friendships and memories, and that is what band is all about. The impact you're having on the younger members of the band will set the stage for their success and your program's success in the coming years. I remember when I was in high school, I was in the marching band, and our greatest achievement was making an H for Holliston on the field. That's about as far as I got with the marching band. So I am incredibly impressed with everything that all of you do on the field. So I just want to wish you all a big congratulations.
Hi, everybody. Congratulations to all seniors. Hope you're having a great time. And despite of the situation, the COVID situation, just live life as it best. Remember all the moments that you're sharing with everybody. Take that in your heart and always be happy. Always make the best of whatever you do. Congratulations, and I hope to see you soon, guys.
Hey, seniors, how's it going? I'm really happy for you. I really hope that you have the time of your lives right now. I never got to participate in any sort of marching band stuff until I joined Boston Brass, and it's amazing to see how much fun it is for everybody. And I know, like Jeff said, this isn't how you guys saw your senior year going, but now's the time to make the best of it. Now's the time to figure out ways to make it just really a good time so that you can still be with your friends and you can still just make a go of everything. So good luck and have a great time.
Hey, seniors. I hope you are having a fantastic time. I hope things are going well. And this may seem like it's a huge thing, like it's probably the end of the world, but it is not. I learned at a very young age that happiness is a choice that we make on a daily basis. So it's what we do with the situations that are put upon us in life that defines who we are. So it's important for you guys to understand that you got health, that you have a hot meal on your table, and that you have hopefully a very long life ahead of you to make a difference. And it starts right now with the way you react to the things that are going on. With that being said, congratulations and the best to you.
I'm so glad you said that, Jose, about making a difference, because those of you who have been seniors in band, you've now been in band for 4 years, so we're going into your 4th year. So you've been making a difference for that long, not just for your band, but for your peers and for the other classes coming up after you. So having been in band for most of your high school career, you've made a great choice. Not everyone gets to do that, but you already know that it's a great choice. All you have to do is look around at your friends and your peers and listen to all the great work that you've created together. I know that when I was in high school, it was always clear to me that the band was the place to find the people that I identified with and that I wanted to be around. And whether that was the school's smartest students or the friendliest or the most caring people, or even the most focused and the most intense people, the band had all of that. And especially my favorite trait of band people is that those are the people who love collaborating and getting things done together. So I want to congratulate you for being a part of that culture for now going on 4 years, and for being stewards of excellence, not only for your band and school, but for your peers and your other classmates. If there's one thing I can leave you with, a suggestion, just always try and keep that feeling with you. No one has to follow the career path of a professional musician like we have in order to get joy out of music, but we all need music in our lives. So maybe for you in the future, that means something like joining a formal ensemble like your college marching band, or just being an avid concert goer who supports live music. Either way, you have the power to keep the wheel turning with music, and all the effort that you've put into music and the gifts that you've received up to this point. Think of this as just the beginning for you. So with that, congratulations, seniors.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, seniors.
Congratulations.
touch is black and poisonous, and nothing like my punch drunk kiss. I know you need it, do you feel it? Drink the water, drink the wine. Oh, we gotta turn up the crazy, living like a washed up celebrity, shooting fireworks like it's the 4th of July, until we feel alright, until we feel alright.
And good evening, everyone. I wanted to introduce to you all our adjudicators for this year's Virtual Festival of Champions at the University of Central Missouri. You've already met a few of us, and for those of us that are on the UCM staff, we're going to be adjudicating you all in the non-competitive division. You've already met my associate, who's also Director of Athletic Bands, Dr. Balmanis. And you've already met Allegra Wolf, who is our color guard coach and band graduate assistant. Oh, and there's Allegra, who you're not seeing this afternoon, but you've met them earlier in an earlier segment, is Ian McLaughlin, who does our front ensemble, and Alex Smith, who works with our marching percussion. We've got some very special guests with us this evening who are going to answer some common questions that band directors may have, maybe even some students, about some of the things that we experience with marching bands. So we thought that this view from the perspective of our adjudicators would not only introduce them to you, but give a little bit of light on some of the things that they have seen throughout some of these videos, but also in their judging experience that extends beyond Virtual Festival of Champions. And to kind of kick things off, we wanted to start with our color guard, because that is an area where a lot of us who are band directors who write our own drill may not have some of the best opportunities to and experience in order to really expose the color guard for all of the true contributions that they're able to do. So those of you all who are judging with us with color guard, what are some of the concerns or successes that you've noticed in regards to field drill design with color guard? What's the best use of color guards from your point of view that we as band directors or as drill writers can really help out that situation?
Well, Anthony, I'll start. I'm Jeff Story. I am an administrator in Kansas, but those of you who have been around color guard for a while in the area may know me as the founder and the first president of the Midwest Mid-Continent Color Guard Circuit, MCCGA. What I like to see whenever I'm looking at a unit perform would be that the color guard is used in a variety of ways. Lots of times they might just be a frame and they sort of hang out for a while, but there's a lot of different ways to use the color guard visually. So not only a frame, but you might only have the guard work next to the percussion whenever there's a percussion moment to sort of provide focus to what's happening with the band.
I'll go ahead and piggyback off of that. I'm Shira Whalen, and I teach the color guard at Republic High School, and I also teach 6th grade math out there. And definitely using the color guard to point out the focus so that the audience knows where to look is an effective way of using the color guard. And also a lot of things that we fail to look at are shoulder and hip placements of the color guard, making sure we're all facing the same way. And that helps to maintain the intervals. And so a lot of that is sometimes overlooked as well. So that's what I kind of looked at whenever I'm looking at the color guard.
I am Sydney, and I am a color guard coordinator at DeSoto High School out here in Kansas, and I have been doing this for a while. It wouldn't seem like it, but I'm really excited to be here. And the things that I look forward for the use of color guard in like field drill design would be, like Jeff said, not using them as a frame. I think we get afraid to use them and afraid of how we can integrate them and afraid of the fact that they can go through band members. And additionally, you know, the color guard needs to be confident too in the fact that they can move through the band. So just not being afraid to use them more or less and being able to use them as those focal points, pretty much echoing Jeff, I guess. So I guess I'm blanking a little bit, but yeah, he kind of took all of my things. How rude. But that just echoes the fact that it's a really big one, is that we can use them in lots of varieties of different ways and not being afraid to do so.
You know, I also think that since, you know, the color guard, like for this contest, has its own set of judges, but also it kind of bleeds into the general effect caption. I think the most important way that you can use your guard is through musicality. The staging and musicality, those are the two big things. And lots of judges don't necessarily know how difficult something might be. So, you know, I know you always want your guard to get better, but really the staging and the musicality are going to be the most important on a field show design.
Absolutely. And not being a color guard person myself, but having the appreciation, a lot of times it was not understanding, you know, some of the mechanics, even with silk changes or changes to weapons and stuff. So I know an area that a lot of us as non-color guard folks who write drill, usually band directors in their first few years trying to save a few dollars and writing their own drill, a lot of times we're kind of not utilizing all of our resources to their very best. So folks, thank you all very much. I do appreciate that and hope that helps out some of our directors who are also looking at, you know, writing their own drill or maybe even suggestions to their drill writer. So this next question I wanted to ask, maybe particular Brooke and Scott, but as adjudicators with some of the music stuff that you do, or sorry, marching technique and all, what are some of the most common remarks you all find yourselves making on these videos, but also in regards to live, face-to-face marching contests? What are some of those marching isms that constantly come back and forth? So, Brooke and Scott.
Hi, I'm Brooke Johnson, and I'm the Director of Athletic Bands and Assistant Professor of Music at Miami University in Ohio. And when it comes to marching technique, I'm really looking for, it doesn't necessarily matter exactly what the technique is, but is it unified and consistent? And does it assist the performers with, producing the best sound possible? And also looking at things like basics of posture and instrument carriage and direction changes. So I'm looking, do they have a solid foundation, and are they working on those marching fundamentals?
Yep, I agree. Yep. Hi, this is Scott Dudley, and retired band director in Belton, Texas, and currently an active percussionist, clinician, and consultant. Individual wise, we look a lot at their carriage, their body carriage, especially when moving. A lot of bands tend to look really great when they stand still, but on the move, body form tends to break down, especially younger musicians. So we end up seeing a lot of those things. And then as far as ensemble marching, I tend to comment a lot on intervals, especially on the move. Yep.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. And Chandler and Todd, maybe a similar question, but on the music side of things, what kind of comments do you all find yourself making time and time again, particularly with marching band and with music performance?
Well, I guess I'll start us off. I am Chandler Wilson. I'm the Assistant Director of Athletic Bands and Assistant Professor of Music Education down here at Florida State University. And as adjudicators and directors, we all have pet peeves. And one of the things I will always suggest to young band directors is honestly adjudicate other bands. Just go online and listen to some things and hear what your ears pick up, because then you'll realize what you're really picky at as well. So excuse me. For me, two things mainly. It's always the moment or the storyline in the music. So it's this: where is the music taking us? What is the impactful moment? Where we have in contrast in volume, and that also ties into tone and balance, because those things help aid that. They also can hinder that as well. And then the second thing that's big for me always is articulation, and kind of like what was mentioned with marching. It doesn't have to be a particular way. It just has to be unified. If you're going to articulate something, a particular style and way, then just make sure we're complete with that. And style ties in for that, at least for me as well, because style always dictates tempo. It dictates articulation, and make sure that we're doing our best to make that happen. And that in turn, turns into the big hit and the work that the color guard is doing, as well. Is that setting up that moment? Are we using our feet and body posture to make sure that the tone is still there while we're doing that together? So all that kind of lands in to the whole storyline, and at least articulation for me.
Yeah, no, certainly agree with everything that Chandler said, for sure. Matter of fact, some of the things he talked about, I had on my list to talk about as well. One of the big things for me is tone of a band and the individual sections and how they're achieving that. What I have found is that one of the biggest issues that a lot of bands have is lack of breath support. High school kids sometimes don't realize how much air it takes to produce a good tone on an instrument. So tone for me is a big one, and also rhythm and timing. Because if you're not lined up, if your timing isn't right, does it matter if you're playing in tune at that point? Does it matter? Because everything's is in the wrong place anyway. So to me, the two big things are tone, relating to breath support, and rhythm relating to timing. And of course, intonation, dynamics for sure, and style and articulation, like Chandler had talked about. I think it all kind of melts together there, to create the musical work on the field, for sure. Oh, by the way, I'm Todd Steffen from North Allegheny High School in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Sorry about that.
What about the use of front ensembles? Are we doing too much, too little? What's the contribution? What are you looking for as an adjudicator when you see a field band with a large front ensemble with a lot of electronics? How can that help, or how can that hinder? So a couple of questions may be rolled into one. So Ben and Derek, if you don't mind taking it away.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and go first here. My name is Derek Shannon. I own a company called Percussion Soundscapes, and I'm also the battery arranger and percussion captain at the Blue Knights. So I'll start talking about the front ensemble amplification one first. For me, it's all about balance. If there is a great sense of balance from a holistic standpoint within the entire band, amplification is great. Some of the areas where amplification starts to hinder our success just in general comes when we turn it up either way too much, or maybe the front ensemble might be a little bit underbalanced, or certain electronic moments might be underbalanced. As long as you can hear all of the pieces and parts that you want to hear whenever you want or need to hear them, I think front ensemble amplification is great just in general. And even miking wind players as well. You know, I think that opens up another possibility, especially for woodwinds, you know, because woodwinds are so hard to hear depending upon where they're staged, and a very strategic mic placement for them done well can help a ton for any band program anywhere.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Derek. This is Ben Gervais. I'm actually a middle school band director in Blue Valley out in Kansas, and currently teach drumline at Mid-America Nazarene University. With the electronic component, I really think that's the big danger, is like finding the good balance of too much versus too little. I always feel that electronics can really help enhance, as long as it allows the musicians to make the music, right? Not let the electronics drive the dynamics for the band or for the percussionist, but just allows you to hear a lot of extra nuanced percussion ensemble sounds that you wouldn't otherwise hear out in the field. It allows all the percussionists to just treat it like a normal concert percussion ensemble and be able to create and add new sounds that you just couldn't hear outside otherwise. It's always very distracting if a group relies heavily on their electronics, because inevitably there's going to be a problem with something where they have a voiceover or something that you always have some kind of electronic malfunction, and it's more distracting that it's malfunctioning than it not being there. So it's, trying not to rely on the electronics to drive your show. But I do find it very important educationally for the students to have some level of exposure to the electronics, because that is a whole nother avenue and a direction that the music industry is going, especially in music education. I mean, with Zoom and trying to figure out all the audio video stuff, it's a whole new component that these students can be exposed to at a young age. And with the staging, I don't think there's really any standards that you have to adhere to, other than allowing the percussion to kind of keep, help support the band. Oftentimes I see, especially in this area, judging out in the Kansas, Missouri area, I see a lot of smaller drum lines that always try to line up straight across in a line, and they spread out, 5-10 yards. And you want to make sure you set up your drum lines for success, and it's okay to keep them a little closer so they can use their ears as well as their eyes to help kind of just with that full sound and rely on each other. That will also help set up the band for success. So I think spreading them out too much at any given time can be very dangerous, especially if it's a smaller group. It's okay to keep them closer and let them rely on their percussion ensemble skills, just trying to bring it back to the total percussionist and the total musician.
Absolutely. And I really do appreciate your insights for all of you, because I think that the main thing, especially as we kind of closed out with that last question, a lot of it is going back to balance. For all of you as adjudicators, thank you all very much for your service, for what you're providing to our ensembles. And to those of us who are doing the non-competitive division, we will be in touch with you all online as well. So with our comments. And again, how about a hand for our adjudicators, folks? I really do appreciate you all very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Really appreciate everyone tuning in, and for all of our participants in this year's virtual Festival of Champions. We're going to go ahead and present our indoor results, starting with color guard, followed by indoor percussion, and then we'll end this afternoon's results with our field show results that will come in momentarily. So with that, we're going to start with the indoor color guard. In our competitive Class A, our color guards are: in third place, Worth County High School. In second place, Norborn High School. And in first place in Class A, Smithton High School. Our next classification, Class AA. In third place, Maysville High School. In second place, Herman High School. And in first place, Hollister High School. Our next classification of AAA for indoor competitive guard. In second place, Clinton High School. And in first place, Fort Zumwalt South High School. Our final classification, Quad A, and for indoor color guard. In third place, Elkhorn South High School. In second place, Oak Grove High School. And in first place, Lindbergh High School. Congratulations to all of our competitive indoor color guards. And now, on to percussion.
Hi again, everyone. This is Dr. Alex Smith, the Assistant Professor of Percussion and also the Marching Percussion Coordinator here at UCM. And I'm very excited to share with you the results from the competitive indoor percussion competition, starting with Class A. In third place, Scotland High School. In second place, South Callaway High School. And in first place, Norborne High School. And now for the results of the competitive indoor percussion competition Class AA. In third place, Lawson High School. In second place, Hollister High School. In first place, Herman High School. And now for the results of the competitive indoor percussion competition Class AAA. In third place, Clinton High School. In second place, Maryville High School. And in first place, Fort Zumwalt South High School. And lastly, the results of the competitive indoor percussion competition Class 4A. In third place, Lee Summit High School. In second place, Elkhorn South High School. And in first place, Timberland High School. Congrats to all the participants of this year's competitive indoor percussion competition.
Hi, Festival of Champions participants. We are here for the field show portion of our award show, starting with competitive field show in Class 1A. In third place, Warsaw High School. In second place, Calada High School. And in first place, Centralia High School.
Now moving on to AA in our field show competition. We have in third place, Cochranton High School. And in second place, St. Edward High School. And in first place, Class AA, Herman High School.
Now for Class 3A competitive field show. In third place, we have a tie, Elkhorn High School and Wentzville Liberty High School. In second place, Fort Zumwalt South High School. And in first place, Sullivan High School.
And in our competition Quad A classification for field show, we have in third place, Bueller High School. And in second place, Nixa High School. And taking first place in Class Quad A, Normal High School.
Now we've come to the portion of our award ceremony where we have what we are calling this year our Champion League. This is where we are taking the top 3 scores of competitive field shows, regardless of class, and awarding a second runner-up, a first runner-up, and the grand champion of Virtual Festival of Champions in 2020. For our second runner-up with a score of 84.5 from Class AA, Herman High School. First runner-up with a score of 90.0 from Class 4A, Nixa High School. And for our grand champions of the Virtual Festival of Champions 2020 Festival with a score of 92.7 from Class 4A, Normal High School. Congratulations to all who have participated, and that concludes our award show for the 2020 Virtual Festival of Champions. This has been a unique but a very special event, and we hope you feel the same way.
Yeah, absolutely. And for all the directors who trusted us to give their students a valuable experience in this virtual format, we can't thank you enough. And for all the students who are involved, and particularly our seniors, we hope that this broadcast today and the senior tribute from earlier and all the hard work that has been done primarily by the students who have been behind the scenes and on our newscast, and for all of the collaboration we were able to do all across the University of Central Missouri, we really hope that this is a project and an experience that you'll look at and say, I'm glad we got that, versus letting COVID-19 take everything away. So with that in mind, we'll move on with the remainder of our show with our virtual fight song that was done this summer by Dr. Balmanis and members of our staff, and also our closing credits, which features Joey Carter in a new work that he has put our alma mater to as a fanfare that you've heard throughout the newscast, but in its entirety here for the 2 minutes of our rolling credits. So with that in mind, thank you all very much, and we hope to see you face-to-face in 2021.
Thank you for joining us virtually at this year's Festival of Champions.
Shuffles for all of the bands who performed today.
Until next time, we're your UCM drum majors.
Signing off.